Hello, this is David Waters with Cavernus, and this is the first in a series of QuickStart videos that are going to allow us to show you how to quickly and easily add connectivity to the Cavernus collaboration platform to your new or existing Unreal Engine projects. Cavernus provides a high-performance, feature-rich collaboration platform both in the cloud, in the virtual private cloud, or as an on-premise deployment. And this is the first video to show you how to very quickly get your system up and running with multi-user collaboration. We now have a system that's enabled by an engine plugin. So if you go to the fab and search on Cavernus, just type CAV and you'll see us as one of the publishers. And the only listing currently there is the Cavrnus Spatial Connector. This is the engine plugin for Unreal Engine 5. When you go to that item, that product, you'll see it is a free engine plugin, and you add it to your fab library here at the fab.com page. Once it is in your library, you go over to the Epic Games Epic Launcher, and you'll find in your Fab library section the Cavrnus Spatial Connector. And at this point, we can install it into any of the Unreal Engine 5 versions that are currently on our system. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and install it to Unreal Engine 5.5, and you'll see that this happens very quickly. Our engine plugin is lightweight and is really just a bootstrap to get connected to the Cavernus collaboration platform. If I go back up to the engine installations, you can see that under 5.5 now, I have the Cavrnus Spatial Connector installed. This is also where you'll find notifications that there's been an update to the Cavrnus Spatial Connector plugin, and you can easily add that or upgrade that update right here within the launcher. Now I'm going to switch over to our sample project that we provide. This sample project's actually in Unreal Engine 5.3. That way you can use it for any projects that are 5.3, 5.4, 5.5, or 5.6. And now that I've installed the Cavernus plugin to the engine, if I go to my plugins manager, I can simply search on Cavernus, and you'll see that the Cavrnus Spatial Connector is one of the engine plugins that's always available. So whatever you're currently doing in Unreal Editor, or whatever experience or project you're working on or creating, at any point you can turn on the Cavrnus Spatial Connector plugin and start adding multi-user collaboration to that experience. Enabling that plugin also adds a section under the project settings. So if you go to project settings and you go to the plugins area, you'll see there's now a Cavrnus Spatial Connector settings area. And in here you can tweak the experience as well as define some of the UI elements that you're using. For example, you can cache the user authentication token so that a user only has to log in once with your experience or your client that you deploy. This also shows where many of the built-in functions of the Cavernus platform, such as logging in and selecting which space you want to join, we provide example user interface widgets for that. And so those are selected here, but if you want to replace them with your own, or maybe leverage what we've done here to build into your own, or just see how we've done it and add it to your existing UI, this is where you would select what user interface is used for authenticating and space joining and all of that. You'll also find there's now a new menu. This nowadays only has the welcome page, but this is very important. This is where you can also get to our extensive documentation. It's where you can get direct support in our Discord channel or provide us with feedback. But it's also where you can sign up for the Cavernus platform by leveraging our self-serve sign-up page. And so you would simply say, I want to create a new organization or a new customer domain, and you would start setting that up by providing an email, providing what that customer domain name is going to be, and only one person from your organization has to do that. But since I already have one, I'm going to go back to the project and show you how it all works. So the next thing I need to do is provide a mechanism to connect to Cavernus. I can do that two ways. The first way I'll show you is I can add an actor to this level. So if I go to the content manager and make sure you have the engine content viewable, which is not by default, you need to turn that on. And I search on Cavrnus Spatial Connector, you can see I now have this actor that I can drag and drop into the level. And once I do that, it provides some additional configuration things I can do as a part of connecting to Cavernus. I can hard code what the server or customer domain is. I can select whether this is going to be someone joining as a guest or as a authenticated team member. I can even hard code information, such as hard coding which space it joins rather than providing a lobby with space selection. Or I can hard code a guest ID, things like that. But I'm actually going to delete this. I'm now going to show you the other way to bootstrap or connect to the Cavernus platform, and that's by way of blueprints. We do have C++ functions as well. That's very well documented in our documentation. But as a quick start, it's just as easy to, in fact, easier to do it by way of a blueprint. So here we are in the level blueprint. You can see we provide you in our sample project with this hint of what you need to add. And it's just one node that you need to add. Initialize Cavernus authentication. And there's 4 variants of that, whether you're connecting as guests, whether it's a simplified node or the more detailed node, which I'm going to select so you can see what some of those are. And here again, I can hard code or pre-code what the connection authentication is going to be and what the domain is going to be. But it's always the case, whether it's this blueprint node or the actor that you drop in the level, that if they were blank, it will prompt you using those widgets that we saw earlier. So I'm going to use the blueprint method. And so now all I have to do is hit play on this level. You can see because I didn't hard code the customer domain, it's prompting me for that. In this case, I'm going to use our demo domain. And now this particular example is set up to authenticate team members. And so I'm going to log into my account on that domain. And so now I get a space list. This is just our example lobby that we provide. You can make this look any way you want. In this case, these are all the spaces that I either created myself or that I've been added to by somebody else. And I know that I'm going to be joining this DW sample level space, which is associated with this particular experience. And so right away, you saw some things happen. First off, Sarah, the user, Sarah, is in this space waiting for us to join. And then also you saw some of these properties or configurations get updated, and that's because spaces are persistent. And so now I'm going to come over here, and then I'm also going to drive the Sarah user. She's going to come over here, and she's going to change the color of that light, and she's going to adjust its intensity. And you can see all that's happening in real time for me as well. And then on this colored sphere, she's going to change what those colors are. And so this is all very, very easy. You can see that we haven't had to do any C++ coding, any real hardcore blueprint coding. We simply added the plugin and that one little mechanism, whether it's the actor or the blueprint node, to connect to the platform. I can change the visibility on objects. Coming a bit further over here, I can change the time of day. And so this particular sample level has a lot of the kind of typical things that you might change as part of a collaborative experience, such as moving objects, going through a set of tasks, and all that gets synchronized together. You can also see that we've added voice and video conferencing. In this case, I'm going to mute myself because I can hear myself twice. But the Sarah user, I'm still talking through that. We actually have transcription. So you can see that if I turned on closed caption for this particular example, it is transcribing what I am saying. That can be translated into one of 40 some different languages as well. You can also share your screen or share your camera. In this case, I'm going to have Sarah share her screen. And then if I go to the multi-user list, I can see that Sarah is sharing her screen here. And there I am. And so it's all very, very easy to add to a level or an experience. Again, very, very easy to add it to a new or existing project. And just a couple clicks, and you have multi-user collaboration with full voice and video communication going on. So this was the first in a series of videos. The next videos I'll have talk about the management console, our web-based management console. And then I'll also be able to show you our collab viewer template project where we've taken Epic's collaboration viewer and we've supercharged it with the Cavernus multi-user collaboration platform. Take care.